Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is Ascended Casual back again to bring you guys the truth of the ultimate immortal male Majin build. Alright? So, in this video, we're basically just going to be showing you guys kind of like the math and everything that I'm talking about that I discussed in my last video about the male Majin build. So, just to go ahead and start off, we'll show you kind of my setup. I know someone asked, is like, hey, what are your attributes? How exactly? What's the numbers that you're actually using for your stuff? So, like I said, I am max height and max skinny. I put all my attributes, as you guys can see, in health, stamina, and ki blast supers. And for my QQ bang, which obviously, I mean, you're just going to make the best one you can make, but this is what mine looks like. I got a rank S version, obviously maximizing still the main ones, health, stamina, ki blast supers. But since ki is going to be kind of important just for the sake of trying to deal as much damage as possible, not that the male Majin lacks, but obviously the more ki is always better, right? So this is kind of how I have mine set up, and of course the main component is the I'm neither Kami nor Piccolo Super Soul. So we're going to go ahead and kind of get into how this build specifically is the absolute best compared to all the races. So let's get into it. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start off with the races that are stereotypically have the best Ki Blast Super. So I'm going to go ahead and just show you guys how my female Earthling is set up, so you guys know kind of what I'm working with. So you guys can already see, unlike my other characters, my female Earthling is only level 93. So pretty much what I'm going to do is I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt of the QQ Bang. But as you can see right here, my Ki Blast Super is maxed out, and we're going to be running the Vanishing Ball. I feel like formation is just a little too much. That's a little. You don't need all that. And I'm also going to have my CAC have the I've cast everything aside for this. So not only they're not level 99, but they're gonna have a full Ki Blast Super, QQ Bang, and a double XL damage buff to their attacks, just so we can show you, how much damage each race is doing comparatively to each other. So let's go ahead and get into this. Alright, so we're just going to go ahead and start off. I like to start transform just so you can see the damage difference. So we're just going to hit them with the Vanisher Ball real quick. Transformed is a total of 6,590, and in base form does a total of 5,930. Alright, so that's what the female Earthling is working with. Alright, up next is the male Frieza. Obviously they're all male, I don't know why I felt the need to say that, but my male Frieza, as you guys can see, is level 99. We're running the Vanisher Ball, turn golden, his Ki Blast Supers are completely maxed, and his equipment is completely off, no Super Soul, no QQ Bang, just to show you guys the side-by-side comparison of their damage. Okay, so same thing. I'm gonna start off in the golden form, and with a Vanisher Ball, got a total of 5,787, and then in base form, 4,455. Okay, so you guys pretty much already saw my setup with my male Majin, but I kind of just want to confirm, hey, I took everything off. All I have is the aforementioned move that we're going to be using, the Vanishing Ball. Obviously it comes with the purification skill, but still want to see the kind of damage comparison between base and purification, just in case some of y'all are thinking about trying to run a Mystic Gohan Ultimate Unleashed kind of awoken. Like the comparison is just not even equal. Just run the just run Purification. Just do yourself a favor and run Purification. Okay, go on Purification. Gotta go ahead and hit him with the Vanisher Ball, 5,948. Alright, and then in base form, it's going to be 4,268. Alright. Alright, the last race, go ahead and do our female Saiyan. Alright, so same as the rest, pretty much nothing on. No QQ Bang, no Super Soul. We got our attributes, maxed out Ki Blast, and then we'll be running our Vanisher Ball and Super Saiyan God Evolution. Alright, so we'll go ahead and pop the Super Saiyan Blue Evolution. And we'll quick Vanishing Ball. Do a total of 6,347. And then base is going to be 4,698. So as y'all can see, the male Majin's Ki Blast Super really isn't that far away from the other preferable races. I mean, you guys kind of saw, currently look like the female Earthling had the best, but we all know the female Earthling doesn't have a better Ki Blast Super than a Super Saiyan Blue Evolution, female Saiyan. So obviously the QQ Bang and the Super Soul that I had on her just was a little too much, but you could tell with just 3 more levels and the removal of those things that she would not be anywhere near this the tax bracket of the highest Ki Blast Supers in the game. And so the next person down the line would be obviously the female Saiyan, Super Saiyan Blue Evolution. But what I want y'all to also realize is Super Saiyan Blue and Super Saiyan Blue Evolution constantly drains Ki. So whereas with one attack you might be getting like 300 to 400 more damage, you're also going to be able to attack less overall, which is going to be an extremely important feature going forward about how the male Majin and the Purification is so much better. Because in Purification, all your moves link perfectly. All right, you can literally just keep landing attack after attack after attack as long as they don't fall out of range, and as long as they, as long as you have Ki. So in the long run, you're going to be a lot better on Ki because your Ki is not going to be constantly draining. Therefore, you'll be able to do more super attacks. Therefore, your DPS overall is actually higher than both the Golden Frieza race and the female Saiyan Super Saiyan Blue Evolution. So I just want y'all to keep that in mind. So the next thing I want to talk about is the male Majin's Nai Invincibility in combination with the Super Soul I'm neither Kami nor Piccolo. And so the reason for that is that the Purification Awoken skill constantly regenerates your stamina all the time. And unlike all the other races, your stamina regenerates while you're being attacked, while you're charging, while you're moving, and while you're attacking. The only other race that kind of does something similar to this, I believe the Frieza race, can regenerate stamina while they're attacking. But other than that, it's nowhere near as good as the male Majins. And the Super Soul regenerates your health when your stamina is maxed out, as you guys are seeing here. So unlike the Super Soul, I don't constantly have to keep applying a buff to activate it. And the benefit is I can be doing other things. I can, activate an additional heal, and both of those are just that much more buffed. So I'm playing the Fu parallel quest that constantly damages you guys, just to show you guys how effective something like this is. All right. It's really just like ridiculous that this is possible. I'm so glad that I found it, and you guys can see, like, hey, you know, kind of what I was just talking about. The skills just link off of each other. They're just a match. They all work perfectly. There's no issue if you know, as long as you can get that knockback, and it's a simple knockback. It's not, you don't have to do any of these crazy combos like everybody else does online and so on and so forth. You can literally hit them over and over again with the same move. Um, and I don't know if you guys also saw, but I also did the, you know, meditation glitch where you can get the benefit of the constant key regen of meditation, obviously without the 10 bars. But now I have my health constantly regenerating, my stamina constantly regenerating, and my ki constantly regenerating. Like it's literally just you know, like it's exactly what it sounds like. It's pretty much unfair at this point towards anybody. And I'm, like I said, I'm not even that great at this game, and I can basically just life wipe anybody. So, but where this all comes together is the fact that male Majins already take less damage as it is. So not only am I barely taking any damage from my opponents, but every bit of damage that I am taking while I'm taking it is also being immediately regenerated. So it's almost like I'm taking even less damage, and then whenever obviously I have a break and I'm not being attacked, my health regenerates. And the key to playing a male Majin is to just not use your stamina. Just take the hits. You'll regenerate ki, and you're really not gonna. It's really not gonna do anything to you. Like I'm constantly regenerating health, even though this mission, just in its very nature, is just taking my health as it is. And yeah, I have Fu helping me, but you know, he's not really putting in that much work on my behalf, right? He's just kind of there. You know, the computers aren't really that great. So pretty much, I'm just gonna be able to get through this entire mission, literally no problem. That was weird. I don't know what the heck just happened right there. And you guys can see the massive damage that I can pull off, even though I don't have the absolute maximum power awoken skill or anything like that. I can just completely life wipe anybody. And that's the other benefit of having purification, is that I can have all my regular skills in my non-awoken form be basically utility skills. So I never have to worry about having moves that can deal damage and so on and so forth. If I want to have utility skills, I can have a whole set of utility skills and then just transform into purification and have a full set of combative skills. You know, people really sleep on the ability to do something like that. Everybody was like, oh, what if we had a super boo awoken skill and we could have our own moves and so on and so forth. And yeah, like, wow, I get that. At the same point, is like, you guys are really underestimating this benefit of just being able to have literally two polar opposite sets of moves that you wouldn't be able to have either way, like otherwise. So super convenient. You know, especially in those missions where you have to keep your allies' health above a certain level. You just pop out of your awoken skill, hit your, you know, revive. I can't remember. It's Toa's ultimate healing move, which also, you know, heals you even more. Um, and then pop right back into your awoken skill when you need it. So I'll just go ahead and finish off Phil. We're both, our healths are being taken away, but mine constantly regenerates. I don't have to keep popping do or die, which, like I said, is useful. It is pretty useful, because you also take less damage, and I wish I had that benefit, but in the long run, it's just a lot more convenient to just not have to do anything. It just happens on its own. But the key is, you really have to stop using your stamina. And so I wish I was facing the other way. Okay, cool. Perfect opportunity. So for situations like this, you can pop your, you know, evasive skill for long ultimates and then pop your own ultimate and take away their stamina or deal damage to them. Unfortunately, the quest kind of just took away Fu's health, uh, for me and killed him for me in the middle of his ultimate. But under normal circumstances, I would have been able to, pretty much do like a revenge counter, just take away way more stamina from him than he would have taken from me. And I know I said, hey, don't use your stamina, just tank it. But I was kind of trying to prove a point. I let my stamina get pretty low there, but we all knew I wasn't gonna die or anything like that. So that's another benefit. The ultimate that you do have and the evasive that you have allows you to be able to, in long ultimate animations, pretty much get out of it and return fire, either deal that damage to their health or their stamina. And because your stamina constantly regenerates, you're always going to win the game of who has more stamina. If you get your stamina broken and you weren't blocking or anything like that, which you can't block in the purification. So if you have max stamina and you get your stamina broken by any other means, your stamina is going to come back pretty quickly. So it really is in your best interest, unless you're just like in the worst situation possible, to just never touch your stamina. So the other thing that I wanted to talk to you guys, the last thing I wanted to talk to you guys about, is that how this build is so effective for raid battles or expert missions. Because first and foremost, you don't always have the raid boss targeting you, so you don't have to really use the, I'm neither Kami nor Piccolo Super Soul, so I like to use the let's get ready for the experiment and let the experiment begin Fu Super Soul, because with the meditation glitch, I pretty much just get super fast key regen all the time, and I can just keep spamming my Vanishing Ball, and hopefully we'll get the chance to show you the, if he launches the Peeler Storm, that you can just literally outrun it. See, like just holding down the key and just completely outrunning the move altogether. Didn't have to waste any stamina. All I did was waste a little bit of key, which I'm not hurting for really ever. So I just keep pushing on. If the boss were to lock onto me for any particular reason, I could launch my, eel bomber, and that makes the boss untarget you completely, so you can get away and you'll regenerate your health. Obviously, I'm playing offline, so I can't really get that much damage, but usually when I am online, I'm always number one, doing about like, it says contribution about like 4,000 or 5,000, but usually my damage output is about like 13 or 14,000 each battle. So despite people using their female or male Saiyans low health with a gigantic roar over and over again, kind of screwing it up for everybody else, I still am the one that's always getting the number one contribution and just most amount of damage done. So yeah, again, you can also set up your male Majin if they do that gigantic meteor blast to swap back into your base form and do the photon swipe. That's the move that Android 21 has, the kind of favored move to send those moves, send the gigantic energy blast back, and it's just extremely useful. You can heal yourself, always be at max health. Pick a super soul that just allows you to do a lot of damage and regenerate health, and that's the biggest fault with that super soul, is that you have to be above 75% health. But with the Majin, you can always just pop a quick sleep in base or in purification and get your health back, and then boom, now you have the super soul activated again. So as you guys can see from pretty much everything I provided, male Majin purification, it's the best. I mean, it really, like, especially with that super soul, I'm neither Kami nor Piccolo. Like, you're getting a health regeneration all the time, your stamina is regenerating all the time, your ki is regenerating all the time. You do nigh the best damage in the entire game. You don't have to do any super complex combos or anything like that. All your moves link together perfectly. And I don't know if you guys saw it, but if you get lucky and you throw that vanishing ball and then hit him with a pearl flash from super far away, that pearl flash basically damn near teleports you. So you might even get there before the vanishing ball hits, in which case you basically just remove that distance issue. You could probably hit him with another knockaway and then continue the combo, obviously, as long as you have that key. You also get the benefit of being just extremely useful in expert missions and raid battles because you're able to have constant full health, so you don't have to worry about, no one has to worry about you dropping and having to pick you back up. You don't have to worry about dropping and someone picking you back up. You can outrun, the Peeler Storms, the most effective moves. That Pearl Marble drop, the one that actually breaks your stamina, that's the biggest problem. But that's a problem for any build. That's not like a specific to male Majins kind of problem. That just sucks all the way through. Obviously, the male Majin, when they have their stamina broken, they take more damage. But with max health, max height, you'll most likely survive it as long as you had, full health going in. And again, if you get your stamina broken with full stamina and you aren't blocking or anything like that, which you can't block in the purification, your stamina is going to come back pretty quick. So it's annoying, but you most likely won't be out of the game unless the boss aggroes you. But you'll most likely be able to get up, pop an eel bomber, and then get away, regenerate your health. Male Majins take less damage already as it is when their stamina is pretty high. So again, the health you are regenerating, it's being buffed even more by the fact that you're not taking as much damage. Just make sure you're not using your stamina unless it's absolutely necessary. Try and get a quick knockaway and get your stamina back, at least to the point where your health is constantly auto-regenerating. The only thing that I find that is kind of like a soft counter to this build is the Saiyan God, like max basic attack kind of build. Only because they just don't rely on ki. They don't really rely on stamina, really. They can just keep coming at you over and over and over again. They do really great damage just with their basic attacks, which, that's kind of tough to beat. But it's not impossible. It's just the simple fact that they don't rely on ki, so they don't need to play the who has the more ki to be able to do decent damage. They don't really, stamina doesn't really slow them down that much. Their awoken skill also gives them some defense buffs. So I wouldn't say they're tanky, but they're definitely not, like super fragile. But the problem with Saiyans is they're really intended to be glass cannons. I know they're everybody's favorites in this game just because of, Kakarot and Vegeta and so on and so forth, but they're really intended to be glass cannons in this game. They're really only supposed to be used when you're playing with other people or allies that can, keep you from dying, so you're at really low health and you're getting that, damage buff, or if you get dropped, they can pick you back up so you can get that extra damage buff and so on and so forth. They're definitely not the solo build like the male Majin that I showed you guys are. And they're definitely not as reliable in a long-term battle, especially like the one that I showed you with Fu, that it will just take away your health and kill you. Again, you basically need something like the Majin build to survive something like that, to be able to come over and pick you up, which again, if everybody were playing this male Majin build, we'd all be good. No one would have to pick each other up. And you're doing amazing damage. You're not getting in the way of anybody else's damage. All the combos link perfectly. And, you're winning in every regards. You have more health, more stamina, more ki. You do more damage. You're going to last longer. And you have the benefit of having extra moves. You can have 2 whole different sets of moves that other people won't be able to have, just for the simple fact that the Awoken gives you a whole new set of moves. Like, I don't even have to have a key charge move if I don't want to, because as soon as I pop Purification, I'm gonna have the max, charge, maximum charge or full charge, skill. So I hope that shows you guys pretty much in detail everything that I was talking about, explains it all. Please let me know if you guys realize anything that I was missing, anything that I didn't think about. Um, there is one small little last thing. Um, it's not super relevant, but I always thought it'd be like really cool if I had known about this back before the uh, full, the Super Hungry Rush. I can't remember. It's Android 21's Ultimate. Like the hunting one, she dashes back and forth super fast. That glitch that allowed buffs to last forever. So there's a fighting pose. I can't remember which one it is. One of the fighting poses basically allows you to auto dodge anything, not dodge, but it's a block. Any normal character, it would just cause you to auto block, not like a perfect block, but just a regular auto block. But the benefit of purification is that any blocking is automatically turned into the dodge animation, which means you will basically dodge any and every attack. Everything obviously except for a grab, but it's really like ridiculous if you think about it. Like you get that waist level dodge animation, pretty much, where you wouldn't be able to use your normal purification dodge to dodge something like Frieza's Emperor's Death Beam. That buff will basically allow you to dodge the totality of it. The only thing annoying and unfeasible about it is the fact that, hey, you got to get out of Vulcan. Your Awoken skill, pop that buff, get back in your Awoken skill, and then it's only going to last you like maybe like 5 more seconds. So it's like really, really nice. Could have been amazing back when that glitch still allowed you to have permanent buffs, but as it is right now, it's just not feasible. But it's just kind of a neat thing. You guys should really check it out. It's actually kind of fun to do your little Majin dance all around. Like you could have so many things or enemies trying to attack you, but you literally just like in those parallel quests where it actually gives Whis actual true instinct, ultra instinct. You're literally doing like that. But it does drain a tiny bit of stamina every time you do that dodge animation, which it'll be automatic. But if it could have been permanent, like this build would just be that much more unstoppable. The only thing that could make this build more unstoppable is if the I'm neither Kami nor Piccolo Super Soul had like the health and stamina regen when you do the limit burst. Unfortunately, it has the revive, auto ally revive, but it is what it is. This build is pretty much already OP as it is. I never have a problem with doing any mission other than the ones where I have to protect people, because it just seems like anytime you don't like kill your opponent within like 2 seconds, the other computer just launches all their ultimates at the person you're supposed to be protecting, and they just take it. They don't block. They don't try and get out of the way. They don't fight nearly as hard as the computers that are fighting you. And then you're just like, crap, now I have to go heal them. Uh, and then there's those parallel missions that it's like, hey, it can never get underneath this certain percentage. Like not like oh, hey, before you get to this next stage, like they need to be over this health, but like it's triggered by their total health at any given point in time, and they kind of drop like a line like, oh man, this sucks or something like that, and then okay, crap, I'm not going to be able to get the ultimate finish. I might as well start this mission all over again. But yeah, so that's going to go ahead and do it for this video. I've pretty much digressed long enough. Again, share around, let everybody know that this is the most powerful build in Xenoverse 2 ever.